and I think he's a more mature horse, and he's gave him a great feel over the past week, and I think you'll find him a lot better horse than what we've seen early in the season. I'm very, very confident, and I think he'll win, because as I've said before, I think he'll go this year without being beaten.
Up on the outside, Bering starts his charge, and Bering really starting to motor up on the outside as Valois goes for home. Arctic Blast between these, next to the rails of the noseband Malakim, but Bering now quickening up on the outside, and Bering going on by 1 length, by 2 lengths. Valois back in second place. Malakim now is the challenger who comes out of the pack, but Bering has gone clear, and Bering just being nudged out by Gary Moore up to the line. It's Bering who's going to win this quite easily, and up the post, Bering by some 2, 3, 4 lengths. Malakim is second, Bering the easy.
Lovely horses, but not one that could do it at all distances in such dominating style.
Oh, well, he was a star, really, Dancing Brave in 1986.
King George, always been a fantastic race. Ridden from behind, he was definitely a mile-and-a-half champion.
Dancing Brave with a terrific touch of class.
The first time that Greville rode him at Sandown was a 3-runner race, and Greville got off and he looked at me and said, "That will be my Derby ride next year."
Sharastani is to go.
In the Derby, we decided we wanted to be very handy. We knew we would get the trip well, and Dancing Brave would be held up, and our position was to go forward and to get first run on him.
All 9 for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes.
I mean, it was a really unfortunate Derby in the fact that the race concertinaed up, and around the 8th furlong they slowed the race up. And Greville knew how the horse wanted riding. He sat out the back. That was the way to ride the horse. The unfortunate thing was that because the race really slowed up, there was a concertina, and when that opened up, Greville was at the back.
Great thrill for me to win the race, but I felt sorry for Greville.
So I suppose the narrative in the lead up to the King George was the rematch with Sharastani. He'd gone to win the Irish Derby, you'd gone on to win the Eclipse. How could you approach the race with real confidence?
Because I had the best horse. I think it was a hugely important race, and it still is, as it is now, a hugely important part of the calendar. All the best horses from all over Europe come, and of course the Eclipse is the first race really where the 3-year-olds take on the older horses, then it's the King George, and then it's the Arc.
Yes, it's a mid-season target. Usually when the generations meet for the first time, it's a great race to win. It's just super to have the material that, you know, allows you to win, doesn't matter what age they are.
They're under starters' orders, and they're running.
And you watch the race now, it's quite an unusual spectacle with the pace-making scenario that was going on.
The fact that it was a good gallop would suit him because he wanted riding from behind.
And making ground all the time on the inside, Pat Edery on Dancing Brave. One from last is Potosky, last is Triptych, but they're beginning to bunch now as Diastan takes it up.
I was really confident that he would turn the tables on Sharastani.
Here comes Dancing Brave unleashing a run towards the stand side.
I just asked him that little couple of strides and he came on the bridle very quick, and I felt, cool, I'm going to win here, and then I pulled him out and he came there so easy. I just felt probably I got there too early. He got to the front and took it easy, and then he saw the horse from the corner of his eye a second, and he went again.
He looked the winner a long way out. Shadari finished really strongly. Sharastani was beaten, turning in.
He was just too good.
Too good.
Dancing Brave avenges that Epsom defeat in fantastic style.
You've got to put him with the best. He's a really tough horse.
I think I thought that possibly we would have another one like that. I always thought another one would come along.
Point d'Artois is 12-1, so is the Aga Khan's Hope Altea, and Sarah Dancer to go up and join him. He's supposed to ensure a fast gallop on behalf of Baccarat, but it's Our Francais from Ostensible. Pradier is right there in 3rd place. Just behind them comes Arctic Blast, behind Arctic Blast, and well up there is Bering, and behind Bering is Baccarat, and Greville Starkey's certainly not going to stay off the pace this time. And it's Our Francais ensuring a very strong gallop indeed from Ostensible in 2nd. Then comes Pradier in 3rd, Arctic Blast out of picture at the moment, comes just behind them. Then Bering, then Sahara Dancer. Behind Sahara Dancer is Silver Band, then El Salit. Baccaroff right up with him. And still Our Francais from Ostensible. Pradier. Behind Pradier is Arctic Blast. Behind Arctic Blast comes Bering, and then Silver Band, El Salit and Baccaroff. Baccaroff very close to them and still going a tremendous gallop as they're right over the far side now. Our Francais from Ostensible. Ostensible just can't keep in touch with Our Francais at all. Pradier going very well in third. Bering has now moved into fourth, and Baccaroff is right on his heels. Baccaroff is fifth for England. El Salit is sixth, but it's still Our Francais a long way clear. Now Pradier going up past Ostensible. Our Francais is out of the picture at the moment. Pradier has gone into second, then comes Ostensible, then comes Baccaroff, and then Bering with his white face showing on the outside of Baccaroff and moving into third. It's Our Francais from Pradier in second. Bering is third. Baccaroff is four. El Tayan improving on the outside. That's the 1, 2, 3 in the French Derby. Bering ultimately goes off the 130 on favourite. Well, what a horse this is.
And they're away, and through the first furlong up on the outside, it's Dagestan and Darara who goes on. Darara from Baby Turk and Nemain, and then comes Bering, and behind these comes Dagestan, who just missed the break a bit. The back marker is Iades, and it's Darara who leads. Darara in the lead, from Nemain in second, Baby Turk third, Takanango now up on the inside of Triptyque. Behind these comes Sharastani mid-division at this stage. Dancing Brave has 5 behind him. Those 5 are Mersey, Santa Steph, Iades and Sirius Symboli. But next to the rails, it's a Catanango who now takes up the running as they just go behind the Petit Bois. A Catanango in the yellow jacket, then Baby Turk, Nemain in the white jacket up on the outside. Behind these, Sirius Symboli. Darara now settled but throwing ahead about Sharadari. Next to the rails, close up, Triptyque, Sharastani then with a white face Bering, then Mersey, and Dancing Brave really switched off by Pat Edery. And at this stage, John Oaksey, Dancing Brave going well, but only 4 behind him.
I'm very happy about the way he's going, though, Graham, because he's settled quite beautifully. Admittedly, it would be nicer if he was a little bit closer to the lead, but he's towards the outside, so there's no need for Pat Edery to run the risk of any interference. As they swing downhill towards the straight, I expect to see Pat move up gradually. He's tracking Bering. I'm full of hope still.
But it's Baby Turk who leads, from Nemain in second, Catanango in third, then up on the outside Dagestan, Shadari going well, Darara behind that one. Then comes Sharastani, Bering, and Pat Edery on Dancing Brave has Bering in his sights. They've got just over 4.5 furlongs to go, and it's Baby Turk from Nemain, then behind these Dagestan, Sharastani with the white face on the outside of the pack, tracked by Bering. Darara looks for room, and Dancing Brave, Pat Edery has him well in behind, as Nemain now, as they turn into the home straight, 3 furlongs to go, throws down the big challenge to Baby Turk. It's Baby Turk next to the rails, then comes Nemain, then a Catanango, then Shadari, followed by Sharastani, then Bering making well on the very wide outside, and Dancing Brave on the extreme right of the picture. Pat Edery asking for everything, a furlong and a half to go, and it's Shadari now who strikes the front. Darara with the noseband, Bering on the very wide outside with a white face Sharastani, but here comes Dancing Brave, powering down the centre of the track, and it's Dancing Brave now who's come to take up the running. Dancing Brave is going to go on, Dancing Brave is going to win at the post. Dancing Brave from Bering, Sharastani at Triptyque
was more a welcome back than a victory parade.
They were still celebrating in the local pub this afternoon as Dancing Brave's unmistakable bright yellow horse box snaked through the Sussex countryside on its way back home to Pulborough. Stable lads and their families turned out to greet him. An elegant and amiable horse, he was as pleased to see them as they were to see him. It's what every trainer dreams of. In yesterday's race at 1.5 furlongs out, Dancing Brave seems to have no chance. Then, like Steve Cram, he appeared from nowhere.
Dancing Brave, powering down the centre of the track, but it's Dancing Brave now who's come to take up the running. Dancing Brave is at the post. Dancing Brave from Bering, Sharastani at Triptyque.
Dancing Brave has one more race, the Breeders' Cup, before being put to stud. He's already being compared with Nijinsky and Millreef.
A horse in a million, would you say?
Yes, certainly is, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Got another one on the stocks here?
If we get another one in the next 10 years, I shall be delighted.
Others may stand and stare. Overnight, his worth has increased by at least 6 million. He's now conservatively valued at a cool 20 million. Joan Thurkettle, News at 10, Sussex.
Racing Post readers have voted Dancing Brave's Arc, the 1986 Arc, to be the greatest race ever. As we look down the list of runners and riders, it was obvious it was an arc of exceptional quality. How did you feel going into it?
Well, it was very exciting because it was a race of exceptional quality, and I mean, Alec Head was absolutely certain that his horse could not possibly get beaten, and why were we even bothering to come? But there we go. It was a huge challenge, but I think one which we accepted willingly, and we were very confident that this horse would win the race.
What made you so confident?
Well, one, he was the best horse I ever trained. He was a brilliant horse. There wasn't any doubt about that. And he was absolutely at peak on the day of the race.
So here we are. The stalls have opened. Dancing Brave drawn really wide there. What were you expecting Pat to do?
Well, really, one didn't ask Pat what he was going to do. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He knew the horse. He'd ridden him winner of the King George, so he knew what he wanted to do. He knew the horse wanted holding up. He was drawn on the outside, which meant that he didn't want to. He wanted to get covered up, and therefore he either had to make all the running, which wouldn't have suited the horse, or he had to tuck in as he has there.
You were watching from the grandstands, weren't you?
I was watching from the grandstands. Probably my hand was shaking too much to be able to see what was going on, but there was the commentary, and obviously it's difficult to see in the stands when you're drawn on the outside, as this horse is now. He's fourth or fifth from last. It's a job to pick them up from the stands, because you've got a lot of horses on his inside. You've got three horses on his inside. So he's three wide in the race here, which isn't ideal in many ways, but at least it meant that he had an uninterrupted run. But as you'll see in a minute, Pat actually tucks him in at the 3 furlong marker rather than pulling him out, and waits. He was supremely confident in the acceleration the horse was going to show. So now we've just got to the top and the first turn. The races at Longchamp don't really start until they enter the straight. There's a turn just before the straight, and we're coming up to that now. This is the first turn, if you like, into the straight. But the race, as you can see here, none of the jockeys are making a move. At this point in Longchamp, you wait. You have to wait until you're in the straight before you make. And Pat has actually tucked himself in there. He's now one off the rails, which is as close to the rails as he ever got. Now, as he's just started to ease out there, he's coming up behind Alec Head's horse, who was, I think, the horse we thought we had to beat, and he's obviously tracked him as he was the horse that he was going to. At this stage, he just hasn't quite picked up, and I wonder what was going to happen. Then suddenly you see him pick up, and then it's all over. I mean, he's just absolutely, he's one pulling up, in the words and the expression.
Extraordinary acceleration.
Extraordinary. The confidence of Pat to wait, as he did, well after he turned into the final straight, was extraordinary. And they got on a good gallop, which was great. It was a true run race, which made it easier to ride, of course, but it was a nerve to hold on until he did.
And to have whizzed past horses like Bering, Triptych, Sharastani, Shadari, like they were stood still. How mighty a performance do you think that was from him?
Fantastic. I mean, it was a shattering performance of ability. I mean, the horse was undoubtedly, if not the best horse we've ever seen, he's certainly one of the best we've ever seen, without a shadow of doubt.
And Guy, for you, the adrenaline rush that day must have been unprecedented for you.
Well, it was too a mighty relief to see him, because actually, it's a job to pick him up at the 2 furlong marker, and then suddenly, I mean, he comes out and away he goes. He is a fantastic horse, fantastic turn of foot, by a great stallion.
And the Racing Post readers voted this the greatest race ever. Presumably you would concur with what they decided.
Well, I absolutely would concur. I mean, the evidence is absolutely there. I mean, the performance was mind-blowing. I mean, he's sat still. Pat never moved on him until, a furlong and a half out, and he's pulled him out, and just for a second the horse appeared to hesitate, and then he took off.